What if the person who was supposed to love you unconditionally was actually the first person to teach you that love has conditions? What if the reason you apologize too much, struggle to trust people, feel like you're never enough, isn't a flaw in you, but a wound left by them? Most people spend years in therapy trying to fix something they never realized was broken from the beginning. Today, that changes, because by the end of this video, you will finally have a name for everything you felt growing up but could never explain. Stay with me. Here's what nobody tells you about narcissistic parents. They don't look like monsters. They look like parents. They show up to your school events. They tell people how much they love you. Some of them even believe it themselves. But behind closed doors, something is different. You walk on eggshells. You learn to read their mood before you read your own. You shrink yourself to make space for them. And the most painful part? You thought that was normal because it was all you ever knew. Psychologists call this covert childhood conditioning, and it leaves marks that most people carry for decades without ever understanding where they came from. So let's talk about the signs. Sign number 1. You apologize for things that aren't your fault. Constantly, automatically, almost reflexively. Someone bumps into you, you say sorry. Someone is in a bad mood, you assume it's your fault. Someone is disappointed, you immediately try to fix it. Here's why this happens. When you grow up with a narcissistic parent, their emotional state becomes your responsibility. If they were angry, you did something wrong. If they were sad, you weren't enough. If they were happy, you breathed a sigh of relief. You were never allowed to just exist, you had to manage. And that habit of managing other people's emotions follows you into every relationship you have as an adult. Sign number 2. You feel guilty for having needs. Think about this. When you were a child, what happened when you needed something? Were your needs met warmly, or were they met with sighs, eye rolls? You're so demanding. After everything I do for you. Narcissistic parents are masters at making their children feel that needing things is a burden. So you learn to need less, to ask for less, to expect less. And now, as an adult, you struggle to ask for help. You struggle to voice what you want. You put everyone else first and wonder why you feel invisible. Before we go further, if any of this is hitting close to home, drop "I understand now" in the comments. You don't have to explain anything. Just let me know this is resonating. And please share this video with someone who needs to hear it, because millions of people are carrying this weight and don't even know it has a name. Sign number 3. You are terrified of conflict. Not just uncomfortable, terrified. Even the smallest disagreement makes your heart race. Even a slightly raised voice makes you shut down. Even a tense silence makes you desperate to fix things before they escalate. Here's what happened. In a home with a narcissistic parent, conflict was never safe. It never resolved peacefully. Someone always lost, and it was always you. So your nervous system learned, conflict equals danger. And it still fires that alarm today, even when the danger is not real, even when the person across from you is safe, even when all they want is a conversation. Sign number 4. You struggle to trust your own perception. This one is deep. Do you constantly second-guess yourself? Do you feel like you're overreacting even when you know something is wrong? Do you find yourself asking, am I being too sensitive? Did that really happen the way I remember? Maybe I'm the problem. This is not anxiety. This is not weakness. This is the direct result of being gaslighted by someone who was supposed to be your safe person. Narcissistic parents are experts at making you doubt reality. That never happened. You're too sensitive. You always exaggerate. Heard enough times, you stop trusting your own mind. And you've been second-guessing yourself ever since. Sign number 5. You became the caretaker, the responsible one, the one who held everything together, while everyone else fell apart around you. Psychologists call this being parentified. It means as a child, you took on responsibilities that were never yours to carry. You monitored the moods. You kept the peace. You made yourself small so there would be room for their emotions. You grew up too fast, not because you were mature, but because you had no choice. And now you attract people who need saving. You pour into relationships endlessly, You love people who can't love you back properly because somewhere deep inside, you're still trying to finally get it right, still trying to be enough, still trying to earn the love that should have been given to you freely. Sign number 6, you struggle with your identity. Who are you outside of what you do for others? What do you actually want when no one is watching? What makes you happy when you stop performing happiness for someone else? If these questions feel difficult to answer, there's a reason. Narcissistic parents don't raise children, they raise mirrors. They need you to reflect them, to agree with them, to validate them, to exist in service of their narrative. And a child who grows up as someone else's mirror never gets the chance to find out who they actually are. Here's what I need you to hear. None of this was your fault. You didn't choose your parents. You didn't choose the environment you grew up in. You didn't choose to learn these patterns. They were taught to you before you were old enough to question them. But here is what is true now. You are not your childhood. You are not the patterns you inherited. You are not the voice in your head that says you're too much or not enough or unworthy of love. That voice was never yours. It was theirs. And you can learn to hear it for what it is. Not truth, just an old recording, playing in a house you no longer live in. Healing from a narcissistic parent is not about hating them. It's not about blame. It's about finally understanding why you are the way you are and giving yourself permission to become someone different. One boundary at a time, one honest conversation at a time, one moment of choosing yourself at a time. If this video helped you see something more clearly today, give it a like right now. It takes 1 second and it helps someone else who grew up the same way finally find the words for what they lived. Subscribe to MindForge for psychology every week that helps you understand yourself more deeply than you ever have before. And tell me in the comments, which sign hit you the hardest? Just drop the number, 1 through 6. I read every single one. See you in the next one.